All right. Well, let's talk about the watch out for the Chinese stock scam because it occurs in very small Chinese stocks that are vulnerable to manipulation. No surprise here. But for some reason, I don't get this. Some U.S. investors see these and they think they're going to hit it big. Like, wow, this is great. The company or the hucksters, as we'll call them, they trick people who should know better. And even smart business people fall for this. And I was shocked to read even a university professor lost $80,000 in scam. I thought they're pretty conservative and they're smart, but these guys are good.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're good, and also too, people want to believe that it's going to work out, and they're going to again make that quick buck. And as you're kind of talking about that unknown risk in the S&P 500, we'll get to that. But we've talked a lot about valuation concerns. One other thing is they're talking about on CNBC this past week. There's a lot of froth kind of starting to percolate once again. Mm-hmm. You kind of have these speculative investments doing very well. I'm going to throw out obviously cryptocurrencies have been doing very well once again. Kind of have these SPACs making a little bit of a comeback.
SPACs are coming back.
That's what David Faber said on CNBC.
Oh, wow.
He's like,
that's
kind of interesting.
Yeah.
The last thing I was going to say, you can kind of tell when things are getting a little frothy. Scams. When people feel good, they're starting to chase returns. I think scams are another key indicator that things are kind of getting out of control. And I thought I'd point that out because, again, we're seeing more and more scams coming out. And the reason I think that's so true is because when people have money, well, they feel like they can gamble a little bit more.
Yeah, and they feel more confident. Oh, things are going pretty well, so I'm pretty smart. It's been a long time since I lost money, so I'll do this. And they're advertised. I mean, you're going to find these on social media or messages on WhatsApp, and they contain investment advice, and it looks very convincing with the allure of big, quick returns. That's what everybody wants. Yeah. But it's a fantasy. They trick investors into thinking that this company that they're talking about, that they're promoting, is on the verge of something very big, and they show that, hey, you can't miss out. They've already got some short-term gains. If you miss this, you'll miss the bigger gains. We're already doing well. And the problem is it's engineered by the scammers who do this through manipulative trading. That's how they get the short-term gain. And then you want to jump in like, I don't miss the big gain. So
yeah, and the big problem here is you look at the regulators. I mean, they try and do their best, but typically can't get access to information in China to go after these people. Yeah. And then also China, I mean, they're not as, I'm going to say, stringent, obviously, here as the U.S. regulators, where we're very keen on these, I'm going to call it pump and dump schemes. You can't just bid up these penny stocks and then, kind of tell people, hey, go buy this penny stock that's only like a $5 million market cap. You bid it up, you then sell it. That's illegal. You can't do that. I guarantee you China does not have those rules. So there's kind of this, I'm going to say, loophole for these scammers where it's hard to kind of catch them because, again, the limitations of U.S. regulators. And kind of talking to that point, I mean, these hucksters, these scammers, they're coming from Malaysia, Taiwan, and other places around the world. So very hard to track down. And then this blew me away. But I mean, some have even been so bold that for some investors who lost money, they come back with a second better offer to make up losses on the first investment. And, what's the saying? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Right,
it's like, no, please don't do that, people.
And it wouldn't. And people have done it, obviously, because they wouldn't write about it if it didn't happen. And I'm sitting back thinking, I bet China wants nothing to do with this because they probably enjoy with the tariff situation. Yeah, good. We're glad American people are losing money on these scams. They probably want it. Maybe they even endorse them. I don't know.
I mean, hey, we did get some news though. There was some positive developments in the U.S.-China trade relations.
Yeah.
So
that was yesterday, on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do we talk about that today, or we're just gonna?
I'm just gonna kind of mention it. There wasn't really many details on it, so we'll just kind of throw it out there. I was just gonna say, maybe China doesn't hate us as much.
Oh yeah, because I did say there was some positive news on that, but negative on Canadian side. Talks are done for Canadian trade right now.
They're gonna impose a digital service tax like the EU does, and Trump's like, nope, no deal. We're done talking. So.
And I knew there's gonna be some good stuff, some bad stuff comes out. But back to the Chinese stock scams here. I like to recommend some way to get around this. There really is. When you see these small Chinese stocks, especially when you see them advertised on social media, WhatsApp, whatever it is, remember the old saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And just stay away from these. I mean, if you got money to throw away, and I know, some people are like, I bet $200 on a penny stock. I guess that's fine. But, some people are spending thousands. Again, that professor lost $80,000 of an investment he did. That's just, don't do that.
Yeah, that's just silly. And I I don't like to gamble in the stock market, especially not the Chinese stock market, because that's all it really is at the end of the day is gambling. And that's not what I would want to do with my investments. Because again, you say $200. What's the point of that? There is no point of doing something like that. You could make, a doubling of your money and make $200 on your investment. That's not going to make a big difference long term.
And it might feel good, but when you lose, it never feels. And I do remember that the negative side, the loss, is far greater on your emotions than the win side. You feel much worse about losing money than you do about making money. So stay away from